It was supposed to be just another preseason exhibition, but what unfolded inside Carver Hawkeye Arena was something far more meaningful. As Caitlin Clark made her emotional return to Iowa with the Indiana Fever, a powerful moment off the scoreboard quietly stole the show. Her classy and heartfelt exchange with Brazil's head coach Leo Figueiro. It was respectful, it was unscripted, and it proved once again why Clark isn't just a basketball star. She's an ambassador for the entire sport. Here's how that moment happened and why it resonated far beyond the final buzzer. Sunday's exhibition matchup between the Indiana Fever and the Brazilian national team wasn't just about preseason reps. It was a full-blown homecoming for Caitlin Clark. The 23-year-old superstar returned to the court where she shattered records, captivated the sports world, and built a legacy that transcended gender, age, and state lines. Tickets for the game sold out in under an hour. Prices on the resale market soared past $2,000. National media covered it like a finals game. And inside Carver Hawkeye Arena, over 14,000 fans roared with every move Clark made, from warm-ups to logo threes. This was more than nostalgia. It was confirmation. A moment where Iowa and the global basketball community got to celebrate not just what Clark had done, but what she's still becoming. And into that charged atmosphere walked the Brazilian national team, a group of professionals who had never experienced anything quite like it. In the middle of the post-game chaos, fans screaming, cameras flashing, players swapping jerseys, something rare happened. As Clark walked past Brazil's bench, their head coach, Leo Figueiro, called out to her. But he wasn't asking for a photo. He wasn't trying to make headlines. He simply wanted to say what millions around the world were already thinking. "You're an amazing player," Figueiro told her. "Congratulations. You've changed the history of basketball." Clark stopped. She smiled, genuinely moved. "I appreciate it. Thanks for coming here and playing us," she responded, before asking him something just as sincere. "Most people you've played in front of?" Figueiro grinned. "Yeah." That exchange didn't just reflect mutual respect, it symbolized global recognition. The fact that a coach from South America in the middle of preparing his team made time to acknowledge Clark's cultural impact shows just how far her influence reaches. Caitlin Clark has been called many things: generational talent, scoring phenom, the face of women's basketball. But what fans often underestimate, and what Sunday's exchange with Brazil's head coach made crystal clear, is that her humility is her most disarming trait. Let's set the scene. This was a preseason exhibition. Her team, the Indiana Fever, was up by more than 60 points. She had hit another logo three and made her mark in her old home arena once again. She had nothing left to prove. She could have walked off that court, waved to the fans and headed back to the locker room with the satisfaction of a job well done. But she didn't. Instead, she stopped. She paused to listen, to engage. When Coach Leo Figueiro complimented her and told her she had changed the history of basketball, she didn't smirk or brush it off. She didn't get caught up in the ego of being praised on that level. She turned, made eye contact, smiled genuinely, and replied with warmth. "I appreciate it. Thanks for coming here and playing us." This wasn't just sportsmanship. It was a snapshot of her character. And then, in a moment that surprised even the coach, she asked him, "Most people you've played in front of?" Honestly, it makes me smile in return. Like, for me, I'm just myself. That's what I try to be. I try to just be a great role model for them, and I think it speaks to how I was raised as a kid. I've loved every second of playing sports, but also, my parents always preached there's so much more to life than just sports. Look, that right there was the turning point. Because it wasn't just a conversation. It was a moment of shared awe between two professionals from vastly different worlds who could agree on one thing. This was special. This exchange matters because it reflects how Clark views her rise. She doesn't see herself as above others, not teammates, not fans, not even international opponents. She sees herself among them, someone grateful to be part of something bigger, someone who uses praise as a bridge, not a pedestal. In an era where stardom often breeds detachment, Caitlin Clark continues to choose connection. She signs for every fan who waits. She uplifts teammates in every interview. And now, she's showing that same level of respect to her opponents, even those who flew thousands of miles just to play an exhibition. She didn't just thank the coach. She signed autographs for the Brazilian players after the game. That's grace. That's leadership. That's the unseen part of greatness that separates stars from legends. The team she played against last night. And I understand a lot of this team was young. with the team she played against last night getting pictures with Caitlin Clark at the end of the game. Having her sign their jerseys, and those jerseys, you better believe, the coach of the rival team being in shock. Like, this is the dream team. Let's zoom out for a moment. Sunday's game wasn't just a sold-out event in Iowa. It was a preview of the future of women's basketball, one that spans borders, languages, and continents. And Caitlin Clark is quickly becoming one of the most important global ambassadors for that future. When Brazil's coach said she changed the history of basketball, he wasn't exaggerating. This wasn't just fanfare or flattery, it was recognition. He's coached at the international level, seen elite talent from every region, and yet this moment, this player, and this crowd were something altogether new. Brazil's players had never experienced this kind of atmosphere. A preseason WNBA game drawing nearly 15,000 fans, ticket resale prices crossing $2,000, a standing ovation after a shot from a painted 22 on the court. These are NBA-level moments, and they're happening in the WNBA because of what Clark has done to energize the sport. Her influence is redefining what women's basketball can look like and who it can reach. Just a year ago, many international teams may have seen the WNBA as a strong league, but not necessarily one drawing global eyeballs. Now, Clark's highlights are trending in South America, Europe, and Asia. Players from around the world are reposting her clips. Coaches are acknowledging her impact. This isn't just about the United States anymore. And here's the key. Clark is leaning into that responsibility with intention. She doesn't brush off international competition. She doesn't act like an American superstar too big for the world stage. She listens. She engages. She asks questions, like she did when she asked Coach Figueroa if this was the biggest crowd he'd played in front of. That curiosity shows respect, and respect builds bridges. With the WNBA continuing to grow internationally, with expansion, marketing, and overseas talent increasing every year, Clark isn't just riding the wave. She's steering it. She's helping the league enter a new era where global matchups feel just as important as domestic ones. And it all starts with moments like this, where players and coaches connect, cultures exchange, and basketball becomes the universal language it was always meant to be. Brazil, their coaching, had no answer whatsoever for Caitlin Clark, and they threw so many different looks at her. I've never seen a team throw so many different looks at it. Caitlin Clark didn't come to the WNBA to fit in. She came to make history, and not just through record-breaking three-pointers. Sunday's interaction with Brazil's head coach was another example of what's quietly becoming her blueprint for stardom. Lead with grace, stay grounded, and elevate the game for everyone. What's striking is how consistent she is, whether it's during the NCAA tournament, a packed-out WNBA debut, or a preseason matchup in Iowa. Her demeanor never changes. She walks with presence but not arrogance. She speaks with confidence but never condescension. She lifts people up, teammates, coaches, opponents, even fans, in every space she enters. That's not accidental. That's intentional leadership. Clark knows the weight of her platform. She knows young girls are watching. She knows international programs are paying attention. And she understands that the way she handles herself off the court might matter even more than what she does on it. Let's be honest, it would be easy for someone in her position to get caught up in the hype. She's got the endorsements, the headlines, the jersey sales. She's got the attention of NBA stars, WNBA vets, and mainstream media giants. But instead of flexing, she listens. She gives credit. She signs one more autograph, asks one more question, engages one more fan. That exchange with Coach Figueroa didn't go viral because it was flashy. It went viral because it was real. Two people from different continents, different backgrounds, connecting over a shared love for the game. And one player choosing to listen, thank, and ask questions when she could have just walked away. That's what's going to make Caitlin Clark's career so powerful. Not just the stats, not just the awards, but the example she sets for how to wear greatness without letting it wear you down. She's writing a new kind of superstar playbook, one that's global, gracious, and grounded. And if this is just the beginning, we're all incredibly lucky to be watching.